At the 2000 Sydney Olympics, Taekwondo became a full medal sport, watched by an estimated 1 billion television viewers worldwide. 1 billion people witnessing a martial art that barely existed outside the Korean peninsula 50 years earlier. How does a single country take a combat practice, unknown to most of the world, and install it permanently inside the most powerful sporting institution on Earth? The answer is not purely athletic. It involves decades of deliberate state strategy, Cold War alliances, and a government that understood something important. A sport on the Olympic program is not just entertainment. It is a flag planted in the consciousness of every nation that fields a team. The World Taekwondo Federation, known by its initials WT, currently lists 210 member national associations, making it one of the largest sport governing bodies on Earth by membership count. That figure exceeds the number of United Nations member states. The International Olympic Committee granted Taekwondo demonstration sport status at the 1988 Seoul Games and full medal status at Sydney in 2000. According to World Taekwondo, an estimated 80 million people practice the sport globally across more than 200 countries and territories. At the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, athletes from 32 nations won Taekwondo medals. South Korea, despite inventing the sport, won just 2 golds at the 2016 Rio Games, a sign of how genuinely global competition has become. The Korea Institute for Industrial Economics and Trade has noted that Taekwondo-related exports, including equipment, training materials, and instructor certification programs, contribute meaningfully to Korea's cultural export economy alongside K-pop and film. Taekwondo's origins are contested, but its modern standardized form was codified by the Korea Taekwondo Association, established in 1961, and the sport was officially named by South Korean General Choi Hong-hee in 1955. What followed was not organic global spread, it was deliberate export. The South Korean government dispatched military-trained instructors to allied nations throughout the 1960s and 70s, embedding Taekwondo in the armed forces of Vietnam, the United States, West Germany, and across Southeast Asia. This was soft power before the term was common currency. Seoul saw the 1988 Summer Olympics as a historic legitimacy event for the Republic of Korea, a nation seeking international recognition during a tense geopolitical era. Securing Taekwondo as a demonstration sport on home soil was a calculated move, and the International Olympic Committee responded favorably, recognizing an already global participant base as evidence of universality. The sport had been engineered to look inevitable. Globalization of the sport came with real costs to Korea's dominance and to the sport's integrity. A series of judging controversies, most famously at the 2004 Athens Olympics, where South Korean fighter Tae Hwan-moon lost a disputed decision, led to years of credibility damage and an overhaul of the scoring system. Electronic body protectors were introduced ahead of the 2012 London Games to reduce referee subjectivity, but a deeper tension remains. World Taekwondo, headquartered in Seoul and historically led by figures close to the South Korean government, has faced criticism from independent analysts for governance structures that blur the line between sport administration and national interest. Meanwhile, the rival International Taekwondo Federation, founded by General Choi and based in Vienna, maintained closer ties to North Korea, turning a single martial art into a proxy for Korean division. The sport that was meant to unify Korean identity on the world stage quietly encoded its internal fractures into the international system. Taekwondo's journey holds a pattern that appears in other domains of Korean export, whether cinema, music, or food. Organic cultural appeal alone is rarely sufficient. What accelerates reach is sustained institutional investment, government backing at the right historical moment, and the shrewd use of international organizations as platforms. The sport also illustrates a universal tension in soft power. The moment a cultural product truly globalizes, the originating country loses control of it. South Korean athletes no longer dominate Taekwondo. The art belongs to the world now, which was always the stated goal, but rarely the expected outcome. Any country that aspires to global cultural influence faces the same paradox. To make something universal, you must eventually let it go.